So I want to share a story that I've never really shared before, mainly because of NDAs and things like that. Um, but as you can see from the title, it's pretty much about my experience being on a film set, my experience auditioning. Just to be clear, I'm not an actor. I've never had any ambition to be an actor or anything like that. But it was just an opportunity that was presented to me that I grasped with both hands, and thought I'd share my insights. Just because I feel, from what I've been told, it's my experience is quite a unique one, and I'll kind of get into why soon. But I suppose first of all, I should probably start from the beginning, which is pretty much how did I even get involved in it in the first place? How did I even get these opportunities? There might be some people out there who are maybe interested in becoming a background actor, or having some experience on a film set or something. And yeah, so first of all, I'm going to link down below the agency that I'm with. Been really good to me. I'm sure they'll be really good to you. They paid me just as expected on time. From what I've heard, not all agencies do that. There's a lot of scams going out there, so you have to be careful. But yeah, the Casting Collective, the one that I'm with, yeah, really cool. They don't charge any upfront fees. This is not like a spot. I'm not being paid to say any of this. I'm just if something's good, I'll share it. So yeah, I think they just take a percentage out of what you end up getting paid. So yeah, check that out. But pretty much what happened is I am from a city called Hull, Kingston upon Hull, and there's a part of Hull called Hollywood, informally, not actually called that, but it's like the old part of Hull, which is coincidentally where I used to live, literally on that street. This part of Hull, Old Town, is being featured in quite a lot of movies. It was in David Copperfield. It was in the Blitz, that Apple TV one. It was in what's that? Is it The Crown, that royal show? And it was in Enola Holmes 2, just to name a few movies. And the reason it's popular is because it's like very old looking. It's probably one of the oldest looking streets in the country. So you can really, like, where I've been, like, when you go down the set, it's and they do like the buildings out to be like real old shops. It becomes quite atmospheric, and you can get lost in it and almost feel like you're in the Victorian times. It's got like the old cobbled streets and stuff like that. So back when I was living in Hull, they were filming Enola Holmes 2 with Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown and loads of other stars. And they were asking for local people to sign up to this agency, the one I mentioned, Casting Collective, to pretty much appear in the movie as an extra, as a background actor. So I did that. Like I said, I've never had any ambition to be an actor. It's a bit different being an actor than kind of being a background actor. But I'm all for new experiences. If you know me, I'm always trying new things, and that's something that I never tried before. So yeah, I signed up for that. I signed up for this agency, and kind of did all my headshots and stuff. I got invited for a. See, I'm that much of a novice. I don't even know the technical terms. What's the word, like a fitting, or where you go to try on the whatever. And then they gave me the part of young, upper class, something man. Where I think I don't think I've seen the film, to be honest, but something to do with like a train scene or something. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't actually end up getting that part. I don't know if they ended up cutting that scene or something. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started. Moved on. This was probably over 5 years ago now. I can't even remember. And then I just didn't get it. So I thought, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. I'm not that bothered anyway. And then turns out that the whole of Hollywood and the film industry went on strike, right, for a number of years because of all this AI thing. Like Hollywood trying to kind of keep your likeness or something. Even that, I don't really know what happened there. But in all that time, had still been signed up with this agency, Casting Collective. Now, as I'm filming this now, it's April 2025. I had to remember the year then because it goes so quick. 2025. Long story short, last year, probably about the same time now. I feel like it was around April, May time. I got an email from this agency, Casting Collective, saying that, and I'm going to release this video in June because then the film will be out and hopefully I can't get sued for anything then. You got an email saying, off the top of my head, it was like, we want to put you forward for this part as an infected zombie. Can you come to Newcastle? I don't know if it was the next day or the day after that. It was very short notice for an audition, right? The director will be there, blah, blah, blah. And they mentioned the director was Danny Boyle. So I put two and two together and I thought, well, Danny Boyle film, Infected Zombie, there's only really one thing it could be, right? Which is a sequel to 28 Days Later, 28 weeks later, months later, what's it called? Weeks, right? 28 weeks later, 28 days, 28 weeks, and then I guess they missed the months and went to years. So that's what it was. Like I said, no experience in this, never really had any interest, apart from that one time with Enola Holmes, that was it, and just because it was on my doorstep pretty much. But I thought, okay, no, this is a big deal. This is a big opportunity, right? Like, and the role it's not like, yeah, it's not like obviously I'm not Cillian Murphy or anything, but it was the fact that you had to audition for it, which I later found to be very rare for this type of thing. It was quite a big deal in terms of the role would be, this particular zombie would be, you know, quite close to the camera and that type of thing. So it's not like you just be a little head in the background of 100 other people. I'm going to try and remember everything here, so I'll probably forget things. So if you've got any questions or anything, just let me know, and I'll answer. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do it. I think it's a good opportunity. So I literally booked my train for Newcastle, probably the next day or whenever it was, very short notice, like I said. It's about a 2-hour journey from where I am right now, up to Newcastle from Leeds. And I went, so they gave me the address. I went to this building, there was all these people there auditioning for the same part. I'd probably say about 30 to 40 people, right? I had to like update all my headshots and stuff before that. I think I had to send like my measurements and stuff as well. I think that's all standard practice. So there's all these people, and they're all just sat there quiet. Nobody's talking to anyone. Again, I don't know what's normal in these situations, but the person I started going around talking to people out of interest and like, what do I need to expect? I was asking a lot of questions like, have you done this before? What do I need to expect? And the answers I was getting is, first of all, everyone there was super experienced. Everyone there, the woman came, like a woman. I don't know who she was or what she did, but she was on like the Danny Boyle side of things. But while we were waiting for him to come, and she said, "Oh, can everyone put their hands up if they've done this before?" No word of a lie. Everyone apart from me put the hand up. Everyone. I was the only person who didn't put my hand up. So then I started thinking like imposter syndrome or something, like, why am I here? Why the hell am I here? First of all, I never even applied for this. They reached out to me. I'm sure there's so many people who would, you know, kill to have this opportunity to even be here, to even meet like an Oscar-winning director like Danny Boyle. And I'm just here just because, I don't know why still to this day, I don't know why. So I was very inexperienced. Everyone else there had pretty much done it before. I was talking to the guys, people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm in Emmerdale and I've been in this and I've been in that," and I don't, okay. And I was saying like, what should I expect? It's funny how no one was really talking, like I suppose because they're all against each other and they're all going for the same role, so they want to get the role. They don't want to befriend their enemy or whatever. But I don't give a shit. Whatever. I'm just is what it is. I want to meet people. I want to know what is going on. I want to know what to expect. And the answer I was getting from this one guy in particular who was very experienced and had been doing this for he might have even done it full time, to be honest. I think he might have done it full time. And he said, to be quite honest with you, I've been to so many of these castings, right, never once have I had to audition, right? Remember, we were there to audition. We were not there just to get a fitting or anything like that. We were there to audition, which is very, very rare, I came to realise. And then he was saying about, it had all the details in the, what I want to call it a job description, but it's not. I don't know what you'd call it. In the email we got, it said like, oh yeah, you'd be doing this, you'd get paid. I mean, the pay was pretty good as well. But yeah, there was like opportunities where, you know, you'd be staying in hotels and they'd tell you all this and that. And I can go into a little bit more detail into the actual scenes and stuff, because I will be releasing this once the film comes out. So maybe the scenes won't even be released, who knows? I don't know, I'm not involved in the editorial process. But yeah, essentially it was very, very rare to actually have to audition for a part like that, as I was told. So the guy was he was pretty much telling me, I don't know what to expect. And he was saying, this is a big deal that I've never experienced. He said, for your first time doing something like this is, you've pretty much dived into the deep end. Don't get much bigger than this, unless you're like, again, Cillian Murphy or something like that. So that was it. Danny Boyle turned up. He was a couple of minutes late, very apologetic about being late as well. And I thought, oh, first impression, he's a very nice guy. Do you know what I mean? He seemed concerned that we'd been waiting for not that long, to be honest. Everyone there was good. All the team. I mean, I had a right dry mouth, probably from talking to everyone. Dehydrated, needed a drink. They sorted me out. They got me some water. So yeah, the reason I say this, it might be a bit of a random thing to say, but I've read a lot of things about like extras and background actors getting treated with a lot of disrespect, and that's not what I experienced on that set or in the other set I'm gonna mention after. So I probably should speed up this video. But yeah, yeah, really nice people. Everyone was very super friendly, super helpful. After I kind of started talking to people, everyone started to, I don't know, loosen up a little bit, and then next thing you know, everyone was talking. So that was pretty good. That was pretty cool. I was at the front of the queue. Imagine a big long queue of, again, about 30 to 40 people in a corridor. I don't actually know what the building was. It was like, it was not in the centre of Newcastle though. It was quite far out. And then they pulled us into this room, which I could only describe as like a classroom. It just reminded me of like a classroom at school. It had like desks that would kind of pull to the side and then like an open space in the middle. They had our headshots, embarrassingly, pictures of all of us on the tables and stuff with all our details. So I was a bit concerned about GDPR. And then yeah, we went in there. I was in kind of the first, like I said, I was at the front of the line, so I was one of the first to go in there. And then just get chatting to Danny Boyle. And some other guy who I can't remember who his name was, and I don't know who he was, but it was me, Danny Boyle, and this other guy. And I was probably in there about 10 minutes. Essentially, for an audition, it was pretty much a conversation. It was pretty much getting to know each other, him getting to know me, asking, have I seen the first film? I don't think he was really involved in the second film, is from the vibe I was getting. He was very, he kept going on about the first film, 28 Days Later, but 28 Weeks Later, I don't think he really approves of or something. I don't know. 28 Years Later is, as far as I know, a direct sequel to 28 Days Later. It has nothing to do with 28 Weeks Later. He might have been involved in some capacity, but I don't think he was much. The way he was describing the role, and what was interesting actually is when I got the email, it said infected zombie. That's what it said. That's what the casting people described the role as. And then after speaking with Danny Boyle, he said these are not zombies. He said these it's a, what do they call it, rage or something. It's a rage virus. And I could tell from speaking with him how good he was at his job. I've never really spoken to a director, never had an Oscar winning, like a top director before. But he was really good at explaining it. I can't even put it into words, but he was almost acting it out himself. He was saying how he wants the infected to kind of He don't want them to appear as vicious and intimidating. If anything, he wants them to appear as quite scared and, you know, out of control, like the limbs just flying all over the place and they can't control it. And the way he described it was like, again, these are not zombies. He said, do you know when you when you get that feeling when someone might annoy you or piss you off, and you really you want to kill them, essentially. You get so angry and you could just visualize just strangling them or something, right? We all have that feeling sometimes, but the difference is we are adults, we are humans, we have morals, we have, you know, understanding, we have logic. We don't act on it because we know that, first of all, maybe that's really not what we actually want, and second of all, we don't want to deal with the consequences. Do you know what I mean? So he said, imagine that, but you don't have the logic or any of, you don't have the ability to hold yourself back. You get that feeling and you have to act on it. That's what this is. That's what the rage virus is. And that really made a lot of sense to me, to be honest. Like I said, the way he was describing about how he wants them to come across and the movement and everything like that was really, really interesting conversation. And like I said, not what I was expecting at all. To me, going into this, when I was told it would be an audition, in my head, I think of like Britain's Got Talent on a stage with like people sat there, and then they say like, oh, we want you to do this. We want you to read, obviously a zombie won't be reading lines, but whatever it is, we want you to pretend to attack this man or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't. It wasn't anything like I was expecting. So, well, first of all, I think it's worth saying that I didn't actually end up being in that movie. That's the funny thing is all of this. That's not the movie that I was in. Which is why this is going to be a long video, because I've got another movie to talk about. And the reason why is because I got an email the next day saying, yeah, blah, blah, we got the part, blah, blah. Here's the date. I can't remember off the top of my head the dates. I think it was in May or April, like I said, when we were planning on shooting. And then they had the areas. I think Newcastle was one. I think Scotland. Actually, I can probably say this now. They described to me, and again, the film's not out yet. I've seen a short trailer which doesn't really say that much about it, but they described this particular scene as being, they said it was going to be shot in, I wonder if, I'm assuming this will get left in the film. So when I watch the film, I'll know which scene I would have been in. And it was, they drew that bridge in Scotland, that Harry Potter viaduct. Do you know the one I mean? Like the curved bridge where the Hogwarts Express goes. It was going to be filmed there. Let me think. And they were saying it was going to be like a horde of zombies running after a little girl, I think they said. And then they run into a church. I don't know if this is all in the same scene, but there was that. And then there was a church. And the church was like the main scene as well. That's the one where you would have seen me like up close. From what I believe. I'll see once the film comes out. Maybe you might just be like, you would have just seen the back of my head or something. I don't know. I can't remember what happens in the church, but yeah, that was the scene. I think there was other scenes as well. It was there was quite, like, in terms of shooting days, I feel like for like a normal extra, it's like one day, a few hours. This was like, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks every day. Like I said, hotels paid for and everything like that. So I think there was quite a few appearances in the movie. Again, I'll be interested to actually see the movie when it comes out in what, 2 months from now. And yeah, kind of get a better idea of what I would have been doing. But yeah, the reason I didn't do it was because there was also another, sorry, I keep jumping around. There was another scene where they wanted me to be naked, which I was fine with, didn't have a problem. And they said, and then, well, it went from I had to be naked to I had to wear a prosthetic penis with like a thong or something. I don't know. But yeah, but the reason I didn't do it was because and I don't know if this was the casting side or like the production side. I can imagine it's very common in big scale movies like this. It was just very jumping around in terms of the dates. They gave a date, and then I had a lot going on at that time in my life as well, so it's not like I could commit to things that well. And then they gave like a date, like a week, and they said, okay, we're going to be shooting from this date. So I made sure, yeah, I'll block that out, make sure I'm not doing anything. Got to that time. Oh no, we're not doing it now. We're doing it in June or whenever. It kept getting pushed back. The locations kept changing. And I kept with it for about 2 or 3 times when that happened. And then after that, I made the decision not to do it. I don't know if I regret it, to be honest. I don't think I do, because it was just, I guess, just not a good fit, not a good match, I suppose, for that time for me. I tried. I did my best. You know what I mean? I did everything up until that point. I went to Newcastle out of my own pocket as well. It wasn't reimbursed any of that. Obviously, all the expenses and stuff during the shoot would be, but none of the audition or anything. So I did all that. I think it's a good experience. I think it's a good story to tell. That's why I'm making this video. But yeah, so I didn't end up doing that just because of that lack of flexibility, I suppose. However, there's more to this story. I stayed with the same agency. I still am, to this day, I'm still with the same agency. I don't know how much I can say, and I don't know if I can say what the film is, but a movie. This was just after the 28 Years Later experience. After I moved on from that, I got offered a role in another movie, just would have been a background role, for essentially a war scene, which was being filmed in the Lake District. However, super last minute again. It was really early in the morning. It was the night before the shoot, or the audition, or the casting, or whatever it was. I got the email like 6 p.m. the night before saying, can you get to the Lake District for like 6 a.m. the next day. I just didn't have enough time. I would have done it. I didn't have enough time. I don't think there were any trains at that early in the morning. I would have had to go literally on that night, get a hotel. It was just too last minute, so I turned that down. And then, like I said, a few months passed. I got offered a role, again, super last minute, about 1 or 2 days before. I think to be in this industry, you have to be very flexible. That's what I've come to realise. I didn't realise how last minute everything was. But I got offered this part in a movie, like the day before the shoot, saying, can I make it the next morning? No, sorry, it was early hours in the morning, so late. It was from 10 p.m. till like 4 a.m. For a movie which they were filming in Leeds, which is where I live, and it was about 20 minutes walk away from me. I did have plans that day. I had family coming over, and I told them, look, I don't see my family much. I probably see them about once a quarter. But I said, look, I'm going to do this thing because it's been going on for this long now, and I've still not, the amount of like things I've been offered and auditions and stuff, and I've still not actually experienced the one thing, which is to get on a film set. I've not experienced that. So I said, look, I'm going to do this one. I'll be home at like, I don't know, 5 a.m. So I did that. Again, I don't know how much information I can give about. I think I can. Yeah, the movie has been announced, right? It's called Good Boy, I think. I should probably know. It's called Good Boy. It's directed by a Polish Oscar-nominated director whose name I forget. And it's got that Scouser guy in it. What's his name? Stephen... Wait, I have to Google it. What's his name? Stephen Graham. I don't have to Google it. Stephen Graham. It's got him in it. It's got a guy who's... Look, I'm not into films and stuff. I don't really know. But it's got a guy who was in 1914. I think he's like the main actor. I met him. I've met, obviously, the director. I don't know when that'll be out. There's no release date for that. Super early stage from what I understand. But yeah, I want to talk about that. This one was super like, in comparison to the 28 Years Later one where you required an audition and everything, this one was just literally turn up and shoot. Not a big part, no talking or anything like that. I think I'm in the opening scene to that. However, again, I don't know, I might not even be in it. You might just see the back of my head, or maybe they'll cut that scene out. You never know, and I didn't do it for that. I didn't do it because I wanted to be in a movie, or like I said, I don't want to be an actor, I got no ambitions. I wanted to do it for the experience of being on a film set because it's something I've never done, and now I can say I have. So yeah, I went, and just to give a little bit of a again, I don't know how normal this is because it's the first time I've done it, but to give a little bit of an overview of that that night. I turned up at 10 p.m. There was all these other people there, like background actors and stuff. They had like the makeup area. Where we turned up was actually in a film studio, right? Which I have a funny story actually I need to share. So I assumed that we're in a film studio, we're going to film the movie in the studio. No, that didn't happen. So everyone was kind of, to be honest, I don't know why we were waiting. Essentially, they put us in a room for probably about 2 or 3 hours, right? And then all of us, the cast members, or whatever you call us, we're all just sat in this room talking, just having conversations and eating snacks and stuff like that, and drinking water. Still to this day, I don't know why we was in this room for so long. I think they were filming other scenes in the background. They was also doing hair and makeup, so they was calling us one at a time to do hair and makeup, which they didn't even end up. They did my hair, but they didn't end up putting any makeup on me. So we was in that room for about 2 or 3 hours. While I was in that room, this is the story. While I was in that room, I was drinking a lot of water, and I needed to go to the toilet. So I went out into the corridor, looking around. They were shooting a scene at that time because it was. They said to us, you have to be quiet because we're shooting this scene. So I'm sneaking around while they're shooting this scene, and I find a toilet, or what I thought was a toilet, which you'd think is quite an easy thing to be able to tell, right? It was a toilet, but it turned out it was a part of the scene. We were not supposed to use this toilet. So anyway, I went to this toilet, I'm doing my thing. I come out, wash my hands, because that's what I do. I know not everyone does that. And then I go to use the hand dryer, which is obviously very loud. So I'm using the hand dryer, and all of a sudden this man comes sprinting in. He says, "What are you doing in here? What are you doing in here? What do you think I'm doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here," he said. I said, "Well, I need a toilet." He said, No, this is not an actual toilet. We're filming a scene in here. No one's allowed to use it. You'd think there'd be a sign or something. Anyway, I've already done my business. That is what it is. Turns out as soon as I left, that I can't think of the guy's name. Anson Boone. Directed by Jan Komasa. I don't know if that's how you say it. But that's the movie. If you Google it, there's all the information about it. But yeah, so I leave this toilet, and Anson Boone is stood there with this other guy called Reese, who was another extra, but he had a main part of it. This scene actually was quite disturbing. Let's just say it involves masturbation. Weird movie. I don't know. I'm not in that scene, but I left the toilet where they filmed that literally seconds before they filmed it. So they're doing all that. I go back to this room to sit with everyone else while we're waiting probably another hour. Eventually, they say, "All right, everyone, right, we're ready now. Everyone come with us." Everyone's had the hair and makeup done, especially the women, and all that. You had to wear certain clothes. I think I might have been wearing this jacket, actually. So long story short, we're done. And then they say, "Okay, the minivan's arriving." And I'm like, "What? Minivan? Like, what's going on?" No information. Essentially, a minivan pulls up outside of the studio. We all get in. Don't know where the fuck we're going. Nobody told us where we're going. So I'm sat on this, like, texting people saying, "Look, if I go missing," I think I shared my location on WhatsApp. I was like, "Look, just track me, because I don't know what's happening. If I go missing, then, do you know what I mean? Say bye to my family." Anyway, we turn up at a club, like a nightclub, which had been hired out. A real nightclub had been hired out in Leeds, specifically to film this scene. And I think they're kind of going to put everything together. So I think the opening scene, which apparently is the one that I'm in, was filmed literally just outside. I have a photo, right? I have a photo that I took while they were filming that. I'll share it. I think I can share it because I've seen other people sharing stuff. So this is a behind the scenes photo that I actually took while they were filming this scene. So essentially, where the scene we're lined up outside of this nightclub, essentially just waiting to get in. Going like this, miming, do you know what I mean? We're not actually saying anything, just miming, and then this fight breaks out. Interestingly, while we were going to this scene, the director, who was really, again, really good experience with this shoot as well. These stories that people say that, oh yeah, you don't get fed properly, it's all, from my experience, that's all bullshit. They fed us. They looked after us, they made sure it was all okay, and it all went well, everyone was nice. And like I said, even the director, who I didn't actually know at the time, I didn't know he was a director, I just thought he was like, his job was to look after like the extras or something. No, he was the director. And he picked me out for some reason, don't know why. We were all going to this scene and he picked me out. He said, I want you to go to the front of this line. So there's a big queue outside of this nightclub, and then they put me right at the front with these two women. Don't know why they wanted me at the front. And then later on in the scene, some other guy came and he said to me, right, I want you to go over there, which was like far in the background, right? So you wouldn't have seen me. And then the director came and said, no, he stays here. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know why it's so important that I'm at the front, but whatever, I'll do as I'm told. I'm getting paid. Easy money. Stood around. It was cold though. It was cold. I felt sorry for the women in the dresses, which is what most of them were wearing. But yeah, this scene, opening scene of the movie, is what I've been told. This Anson Boone guy comes walking up, and then a fight starts, as you see in the picture. And then I think, the scene itself probably lasts for about 30 seconds, right? Believe it or not, we were there filming for about 3 hours. We probably did about 10 takes of that scene. Now, I will say that for continuity, I don't know how it's going to work, because I was moving around in different places in each take. So I'm curious to see how this turns out in the finished product. Like, I might be over there for 1 second, and then I'll appear over here. I don't know. But yeah, that was the scene really. And then it was literally okay. Yeah, they dropped us off back at the studio, and then we went home. I'm just thinking, is there anything else I need to add on that? Not really. Like I said, they looked after as well. Everyone was super cool. They said, look, this is a good opportunity. You're going to be in the opening scene of this film. I don't know how big the film is going to be. It's got some big actors in it. I don't even know when it's coming out, like I said. Yeah, I guess the only other thing I'd say is that what I did and what we were told to do is pretty much act how you would act in real life, right? So for me, it wasn't even acting, it kind of was. We was just pretending, like, what would I do in this situation? So I'm in a queue, I'm lining up outside of a nightclub to get into a nightclub, and then a fight breaks out. Situation that we've all been in, I'm sure. So there's not that much probably character acting required there. What would I do? Well, I know what the hell I'd do. Is exactly what I did, and it's exactly why I was able to get a photo literally while we were filming the scene. I would pull out my phone and record, take pictures. That's what I would do. I would gather around. Like, what are you gonna do? Run? Nah, a fight breaks out. What do? You stand around, you see what's going on there, pull your phone out and take a picture. That's what I'd do, and that's exactly what I did on that scene. So that's where I got that picture from. But yeah, so it was pretty much just do what you do. I was walking around, I was talking to people, like, not actually talking, you just kind of mime or like really quietly say like, oh, what's going on over there, like that type of thing. So yeah, that was it really. So that's the story I wanted to share. This is super long. I don't even think I'm able to cut this down, because I've literally, I don't want to cut anything out that I've said. So it's just going to be a long video of me rambling about bullshit. But yeah, I don't do these videos very often. I probably upload about once a year or once every 2 years. But this is something I wanted to share. I hope I don't know, you'll learn something. Or if you have, I suppose the main thing is, again, a lot of the things I've heard is a lot of negative things about these experiences, where they say, oh yeah, you know, the directors and the main actors all go to one side, and then you've got everyone else and you're not allowed to interact. Not my experience. I was talking with Danny Boyle, I was talking with the Polish director, really nice guy. I was talking with everyone. I was talking with Anson Boone. He is actually good. I hadn't heard of him before, but all I can describe him as, he's very posh in the way he talks. He just well educated. He doesn't sound like me. He doesn't talk like me. But in this character that he was playing, which if you do look into the movie, you'll learn about. He is playing like not a posh person, let's just say. So yeah, the way he was able to get into that scene, and in that scene as well, a doorman, I think, punches him or something. And I remember I was literally stood right next to him when they were kind of choreographing, like, where does the camera need to be, and how do I throw this punch? And the guy was the security guard he was an actor, and he was telling me which agencies are good to go with and stuff. Another nice guy, but I think he actually punched him. And he was like, after the scene, he was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And that type of thing. So yeah, it was a good experience, and that's the main thing, right? The whole reason I did any of this is just because I wanted to experience something new, and now I can say I've done it. Would I do it again? 100%. If an opportunity comes, then I'll do it. So stay tuned, you might see me in some movies. But yeah, this one, I don't know if I'll be in it. I don't know if I might just be blurry in the background. I'll point out, if I am, I'll point it out, but it's probably just going to be in the background or something. But yeah, that's pretty much the story, and now I'm going to shut up. Again, if you've got any questions, because there's probably so many things I've missed, because I do tend to ramble and I can literally talk for hours on end, let me know. Drop a comment. If maybe you're interested in getting into background acting or anything like that, like I said, check out Casting Collective. They've been really good to me, really trustworthy. You get paid on time, and you get paid what you're expected to get paid as well. So check them out. And yeah, that's about it really. So yeah, I don't know when I'll see you again. I do stream on Twitch. I don't make a lot of videos, but I do stream on Twitch. So if you want to see me more often, check out my Twitch channel. I'll link it down below, and come say hi. So yeah, I'll see you then maybe. And if not, I'll probably see you in about a year or two.